Greetings and welcome, guys. Anthony Marsh on PR Lost Galaxy 2014 with my new edition of the Terra podcast, which, by the way, the final season. And today I'm bringing you Terra podcast episode 319, presented by my Morphin Megaverse Power Rangers Facebook group. Haven't seen it? Haven't joined? Check it out now. Well, since I haven't did a podcast in a while, I figured before I do on my main topic, I would like to do a shout out to some of my latest subscribers, which I haven't checked in a while because I have made it up to 1,100 and some subscribers, 50 if you will. The following subscribers I would like to give a shout out to for subscribing to my channel: Freddy Krueger Fan 89, Tybone Skyberg, Ty Sohai Walker, Alexander Nunez, Sally Lagazi, and Exale Mac. Thank you for subscribing to my channel and stay awesome. Okay, so despite the amount of content that I've been lacking, guys, for a while, you know, after everything that has happened within the last 3 months as a longtime Power Rangers YouTuber, and while we're still in the last fading off, send-off of the Neo-Saban era, and also the first 25 years of Power Rangers within an era since the Shattered Grid comic feels like it's the Infinity War of Power Rangers within the Boom Studios epic 25th anniversary celebratory Shattered Grid saga and stuff. I feel like there's something I need to tell you guys why I stopped talking about Power Rangers. And you see, of the 5.5 years I've been as the YouTuber name of PR Lost Galaxy 2014, you see, of all my years of being a Power Rangers YouTuber since 2012, back when Super Samurai was airing, or before it was about to end, and then we were getting ready for Megaforce and so forth, you know, one of the reasons, as I will explain in this whole video, why did I stop talking about Power Rangers is simply the fact is, I think that everything I've done and said, podcast after podcast after podcast, and even throughout other videos, not this type of content. You see, I think what we've done as a fandom, as a Power Rangers fandom family, I think everything we've tried to convince Saban to do and stop doing, and when they lend the franchise to Hasbro, both not just the toys but the show overall and the overall licensee of being, you know, with Power Rangers, I think everything that all the 4 years or so of constant bitching and complaining has finally come to pass. And I think our complaints and bitching to Saban and everybody associated with Power Rangers, like Bandai with the toys and everything, has finally worked. They finally at least listened. But you see, since April 20th, when Saban went around false flagging most Power Ranger YouTubers YouTube channels, you know, for copyright, you know, for no apparent reason, and I was one of the many fans that was affected by this. You see, ever since after all my Power Ranger videos were flagged by Saban, including videos about my thing that nobody cares about, just saying, I had to slow way down on the content. And after everything that has happened and everything we've been through, I've been through, I just decided to call it quits with Power Rangers in terms of rambling and talking about it, especially for news or things general and discussion about season after season, character after character, the movies, the toys, anything related to Power Rangers. Super Sentai, I don't know if I want to talk about that anymore or not after everything that has happened. Because, you know, I just think I also have another major announcement also about this before we discuss the main thing. After 6 years on YouTube, in 6 years, being on this channel, I am officially moving on from YouTube and onto another video sharing platform to make new videos on. And I decided, if you have not been following my Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, PR Lost Galaxy 2014 Instagram page, I posted an image with the Daily Motion logo on it. Now, for those who followed my vlog about me cussing out Saban brands before they went kaput this month about the copyright flagging and stuff, Toei the same too. I decided, I had some suggestions in the comments on that video and the other one following it about Daily Motion. So yes, my friends, I feel as though that, as you may or may not be feared about this, but this year, 2018, is going to be my last year on YouTube. I have already now accomplished one thing, but I feel like now it's time I did something else related about Power Rangers. And it's not going to be about me talking about the show anymore or the toys, just anything Power Rangers related with them by name or whatever in general on it. Like fan films, short films, anything about Power Rangers. That doesn't have anything with me revolving me talking shit or putting people down when I say something that's my opinion or something anymore. And I feel like that's what I want to do now. So that's why, if you have not got the memo early this year when 2018 came, when I did my 3-hour-long 25-year history of Power Rangers rant video, that Terra Venture podcast, the PR Lost Galaxy 2014 video commentary podcast videos series, this is my final season. And I feel like, even though this year is, even though I feel like I'm about to choke up on what I'm about to say here because I may get a little emotional on this episode. And I know you don't want to hear me getting emotional or sounding emotional saying these things, but I just want to move on doing podcasts because I think some things I've said I've had some good points in them. Most times I've said some things that pissed people off and other Power Ranger fans and friends, family, and all. And after all the things I've done and said and dealing with haters and trolls and even, people in the fandom, Power Rangers fandom community being trolls and dicks and such to me and stuff. But after all that's been said and done, the show will go on elsewhere, but it's just not here anymore. And once I do put up my re-released complete cut version of my first Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film, this is it. I feel like I need to find somewhere where I can build a new audience, but still retain the PR Lost Galaxy 2014 channel brand name elsewhere. But it's just, even when I'm done with videos this year on YouTube, now, I'm not giving up on, the stuff I'm doing. After this year and next year and beyond, this channel will remain open. But there will be an archival channel with the existing videos, especially videos I've deleted because of some very hedonic, if you can put it, cathartic things I've said about, and all the years I've spent these last 5 years calling people out, talking crap about some people, trying to make video responses to trolls, which I should have never did. That's Chris Chan territory, trying to, keep feeding the trolls, and I had to realize now I don't want to end up like that dickwad, but I'm still working on trying to do a video about that guy, like I did the other low-cal man-child on the internet soon. But even though I may no longer do podcasts or anything about Power Rangers on this channel anymore, my legacy doing videos like this will continue elsewhere. But it's just I'm not doing podcasts anymore because the things I've said. And all the things I've said to hurt people, that stuff is coming to an end, so that's why I had to stop it. Okay, now here we are, 10 minutes in. So yeah, Dailymotion, I will start uploading videos there sometime next year, 2019. But I will still support Power Rangers, but it's just I won't no longer talk about the franchise or talk about this recent horrendous era that we were just in, entering a new era where I feel Power Rangers will be great again in the hands of Hasbro. Okay. Here are many reasons why I stopped talking about Power Rangers. The first reason would have to be the constant times I've complained and bitched about the Neo-Saban era. I know that sounds like a stupid reason, but stick with it. It's just, of all the bitching and complaining that was done for the last 5 years, 6 years since Megaforce and Samurai, and even after when those seasons ended and we had Dino Charge and then Supercharge, we crapped out Ninja Steel. Oh boy. I had to stop it because I realized me complaining and whining about Saban and stuff is making me look like a more bigger man-child in the Power Rangers fandom than anyone else. And I realize sitting on my ass every time I do videos like this, and this is why I'm no longer doing videos like this anymore, is because it's like I don't have nothing better else to do. I just wanted to do other things other than sit in front of a microphone talking about the show, shitting on it, and if there's people who do like Samurai, Megaforce and that, good for you. But the thing is, realizing to the fact that what Saban was doing with Power Rangers, you know, I've realized something. I knew that 2010, 8 years ago, when I joined the fandom starting on the Ranger Wiki, when I was posting fan work about that fan film thing of mine about Trahina and stuff, Lost Galaxy, and when everybody was getting prepared for Samurai and Gokaiger the following year, 7 years ago in 2011, you know, I can't believe I spent all these years bitching and complaining about Samurai and, you know, and then later on the 2 seasons of Megaforce. And, you know, even actually, I didn't do any bitching and complaining about Megaforce until years after it ended and when we had Dino Charge. And then when Linkara's Sister of Power Rangers, and then when I did my response video where I did all that screaming from the top of my lungs, scaring some of my audience off, especially one person who doesn't watch, again, Shigs, one of the few Power Ranger fans that I reached out in a video response after he did a video response to me. I don't think he's going to reach out to this video here, what I'm going to say here. And several other Power Ranger YouTubers that subscribe to my channel. Because after all, everything I've said and done was off point. I had some bad tangents and speech problems, being incoherent and indecisive, and a little schizophrenic at times. Because I don't know what to say. Because after all, I mean, I spent 7 years isolated, hardly talking to anybody, or even chatting with someone on social media because I don't know who to trust. And there's some of you, my fellow loyal subscribers, I do trust, but everybody else, no. But it's just I've just done too much bitching, complaining, and ranting about Saban and Bandai and stuff. I mean, I think they knew their lesson, because a lot of us Power Ranger fans have been asking for change. Because what Saban was doing with Power Rangers ever since they got it back from Disney, and this is one of the reasons why I stopped, you know, talking about it. I already been long acknowledged, like from several of my fellow Facebook friends who are also Power Ranger fans, also have also contemplated, you know, complaints about Saban. And that what they've been doing ever since they put the show on Nickelodeon since 2011, that I get that what they were doing that was just screwed up, why I lost interest in Power Rangers again, and this time like completely for good almost. looking back on the acting and writing on all the Neo-Saban seasons, they were doing these seasons just to talk us down like we were dumb. Not just only the kids, but us adult longtime Ranger fans. Heck, myself included. And that's one of the reasons why I stopped watching the show after Dino Supercharge. Because of those reasons. I knew once Ninja Steel started, and I know there are a few of you who still like Ninja Steel, I don't blame you, but the thing is, Ninja Steel is just as worse as Samurai Megaforce, but way worse than Megaforce. I know some people are going to disagree with me on that tangent, and that's just me being an asshole again. But the problem is, they were, you know, the way how they were writing the show and all the things they were doing, it just didn't work for me. And the things they were doing with Samurai Megaforce and all that, it just didn't click with me looking back now. But I can understand what Saban was trying to do. I get Saban was trying to bring Power Rangers back, make it relevant again. In this day and age of social media and streaming online television and what the trends of this generation is nowadays, social, you know, like I said, social media and stuff. Because, you see, we didn't have the stuff we got now back when Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and a few of the later ones were on the air back in their respective years. It seems like in the day and age of Samurai, Megaforce, Dino Charge, Ninja Steel, and the sub-side Power Ranger official Saban products like Hyperforce, the Boom Studio comic series, the 2017 movie, etc. It seems like Saban wants Power Rangers to be talked up about. But you see, I felt that what Saban was doing just didn't work. And another reason why I stopped talking about Power Rangers, aside from that as a second reason, related to the first reason. I get what Saban was trying to do with Power Rangers is trying to bring back the Mighty Morphin era. He wanted to bring back, you know, the times of Mighty Morphin in today's Power Rangers. But you see, none of the kids in this generation even grew up on Mighty Morphin. Unless if you are a longtime fan who is a parent now and has kids and you want to show them the original Mighty Morphin, get the show on DVD or stream it on Netflix. And they'll know that they were the first Power Rangers. Even if they never did grow up on Mighty Morphin, I guess it probably doesn't really matter now. Because, you know, the thing is, what's a fact is a fact. And to the fact, none of these kids even care about Mighty Morphin or the newer seasons. I mean, not newer seasons, the later seasons before Samurai. Sorry, excuse me. See, I'm getting screwed up with my, you know, points. And I get that despite as much Mighty Morphin, since this year is the 25th anniversary of Power Rangers, particularly 25 years of them, the pioneers of the franchise, the ones that started it all. The fact is, what worked in 1993, 1994, 95 doesn't work in 2011 or 2012 or 2013 or whatever, 2014, or even this year, 2018, because what we had back in those days does not work. We're in an era where we're so submerged in a lot of the superhero culture thanks to Marvel and their ever universally acclaimed multi-billion-dollar making Marvel Cinematic Universe. And especially what Disney is doing despite the scrutiny with Star Wars and several other franchises making big. And television shows that are talked up on social media a lot, like Game of Thrones, The Walking Dead, etc. Power Rangers is neutral, pretty much. And you see, while those franchises, many film franchises and some TV shows that are universally acclaimed, loved by all, which I don't really care for, that junk. I've always been all about Power Rangers. And I feel like to the point where everything that Saban has done, and especially trying to, both Tangent 1 and Tangent 2 I just made recently, is one of the reasons why I stopped talking about Power Rangers. And if you can tell from my personal Facebook and my personal Instagram, I hardly even post anything about Power Rangers lately. And even on this channel, other than my recent fan film, my 25-year history of the franchise, podcast rant early in January, and the upcoming Power Morphicon 6 news video I will do once Morphicon is over after August 19th. That's Sunday, next month. But there's just been nothing I wanted to do with Power Rangers anymore. I think everything I've said has been said already. And every single thing I've bitched and complained about has already been bitched and complained about in past videos. But after the copyright claims I got from Saban Brands, I decided to change my error of ways. I think I have been too pessimistic about Power Rangers. I've been too nostalgic about the old days and not accepting the new era. Even if the new Neo-Saban seasons were shit except Dino Charge. But I had to stop talking about Power Rangers because I guess maybe it seemed like once I become an adult, 20 to 25 years later, then I start getting all nostalgic about the old days. Even though, yeah, the older seasons are better to an extent. But yeah, the Neo-Saban era was trying to ape on mostly the Mighty Morphin era and the nostalgia, because again, out of all Power Ranger eras, Mighty Morphin is what's being celebrated the most. See, when you go around social media now, and when, with all this 90s nostalgia, and knowing Power Rangers was a big thing in the 90s until it died out after Mighty Morphin ended. But we still had Zeo through Lost Galaxy for the rest of the 90s regardless, and up Lightspeed Rescue onward today in the 21st century. Most people, for these many years to come, even now, will forever only remember Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But you see, this is one of the things I was just annoyed about why I stopped talking about the franchise again. Everywhere I went for the last 7-8 years has been everywhere I talk about it. It seems like when I talk about my favorite Power Ranger season, it seems like everywhere I turn around, it's people talking about, remember how the original Power Rangers was good and stuff, and Nothing Beats the Original and crap? That stuff was just so annoying, and especially when I come across people I came across earlier in the decade while we had all of this Mighty Morphin nostalgia. That's what was bugging me. People I came across with in public when I'm at places where pop culture is so submersed, like FYE and stuff. Everywhere I go, it's like every time I talk about something, when I see some Power Rangers merchandise at Hot Topic or Walmart or Spencer's or FYE, where I live at, they keep telling me nothing beats the original Mighty Morphin. And it just really bugs me. Hell, even on social media, on Instagram and Facebook, when I go on Power Ranger Facebook groups, and then when I see, people posting about what's their favorite Ranger or favorite Power Ranger season and stuff, it's always Mighty Morphin responses. It's hardly responses for the other eras, and just like, oh, ignore the other Power Rangers, they don't mean anything. It's always been Mighty Morphin. Well, I guess maybe I just need to accept that, because if it's always been Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, then so be it. Because after all, nobody gives a crap about Lost Galaxy or Ninja Storm or Samurai or Dino Charge or Mystic Force or Lightspeed Rescue. It was always about Mighty Morphin. Even though, yeah, the later seasons are better in terms of story and characters, Mighty Morphin is just a thing of nostalgia. And that's how I see it. Because if Saban really wanted to bring Mighty Morphin back so much, just because other franchises lately in this decade has been trying to go back to their glory days, because, yeah, Hollywood has been lacking originality and stuff nowadays, and pop culture, we're so submersed of bringing back shit from the 90s lately. It's like, we want to bring back the 90s. We want to bring back the feel of Fox Kids. We want to bring back the Kids WB days. We want to bring back the days of early 90s Nickelodeon. Heck, look at Nickelodeon Nicktoon shows of the 90s like Rugrats getting revived lately, and possible revivals of Hey Arnold and whatever. And whatever Cartoon Network is doing with revivals of stuff that I know a lot of people have been bitching about on the internet. It's just, maybe it's just the fact is, this is a generation where we've just gotten lazy, or we just became so entitled, narcissistic, and always demanding what we want out of the people who create the IPs that we don't own. We just support, or we oppose against what they've done. And you see, I have been opposed against Saban like many others. I didn't start becoming an enemy towards Saban brands until after Megaforce ended. As much as I saw the things they did in Samurai and Megaforce, but I just had to stop, you know, supporting Saban with the crap they've been doing. And actually it all started ever since Linkara's History of Power Rangers videos for both Samurai and Megaforce came out 3 years ago, especially his Megaforce video. And after 2015, and when I moved in this apartment and such, then that's when I started becoming an anti-Saban brands Power Ranger fan kind of guy. And I started, you know, doing all boatloads of videos shitstorming Saban like everybody else had been before me. And that's why I got sick of it. And heck, and all the nostalgia tards, I know that word is hardly used anymore, but nostalgia tards of Mighty Morphin. If you like Mighty Morphin, great, but just stop showboating comments about your nostalgic experience with MMPR. If I'm more of a fan of a Power Ranger team with Charlie Brown suits and a Trakina and all that stuff, don't talk to me about Mighty Morphin all the time. I mean, I know how the original series was. Or don't talk to me about Operation Overdrive or something. And I know that Lost Galaxy is not like Mighty Morphin. It's great, but it's not like Mighty Morphin. It's not as memorable by the general public because, again, the general public is all about Mighty Morphin. See, I know for the last 7 years as a fact, mostly 5 years when it came to the 20th anniversary Legacy toys. When Bandai had Power Rangers still, and that's why their license is about to go out. You know, ever since we had the Legacy line, while we had toys for Megaforce, and even for the 25th anniversary now, before they lose the rights to the toys, they have been doing 5 years of Mighty Morphin Legacy stuff. And see, I was not going to buy all of that Mighty Morphin junk. Now, I understand it's been over 25 years of Power Rangers, 25 years of history, but mostly it's like 25 years of Mighty Morphin mostly, since after all the vintage retro 90s Mighty Morphin toys, people rather buy that stuff off of eBay or thrift shops instead of buying the newly modern Legacy stuff of Mighty Morphin. I know I've seen some fans who have bought some of the new recent Legacy Mighty Morphin toys, but the thing is, people are more nostalgic about the old stuff. They're more about the old 90s Mighty Morphin toys. That's them. I mean, really, to be honest, though, I rather prefer the Legacy stuff than the old stuff. Because, actually, to me, the Legacy toys are more accurate to the TV show design and aesthetic-wise. The way how the toys were made in the 90s for Mighty Morphin were, well, for how they were. And yeah, I do like the die-cast stuff on the old 90s toys. But I just think that the newer toys, despite, you know, until the quality became shit since last year, you know, were a lot better. Because they were more accurate. Because the way how the toys of the 90s were, they were pretty bulky. And I felt that with the Legacy collection figures, those 6-inch Marvel Legends-esque Power Rangers Legacy collection figures and stuff, they look so much better than all those different many Mighty Morphin figures we've had over the last 25 years. And the Megazords, the Legacy Megazords, even though the original Megazord, Thunder Megazord, is such out of reach on Amazon for me to pay for, but they seemed more accurate to the show than the original toys were, in my opinion. And the Legacy versions of the Power Morpher and stuff, that is more so accurate than the original 90s toys. But I get that, you know, Mighty Morphin is all everybody cares about, and in today's 90s nostalgia obsessed culture right now, since yes, I am one of the many kids of the 90s that's now an adult in his 20s. But you see, I'm one of the many people who doesn't want to be obsessed with the 90s too much. Because the thing is, as much as I like some stuff from the 90s, but there's many things that I wanted to forget about as I gotten older. And here I am all this day and age later with everything from the 90s coming back for the hell of nostalgia and cash grabs. I really don't want to think back to the things I grew up with, some of the things I grew up with in the 90s, except Power Rangers. But I mean like certain things from 90s Nickelodeon, like Rugrats, and several other Nicktoon or whatever Nickelodeon shows I do remember watching growing up, or 90s Cartoon Network that had a recent reboot, Powerpuff Girls, and whatever. I just don't want to think back to that stuff. That stuff was for what it's worth. And I get that they want to reboot that stuff because they want to introduce to who exactly in this generation of the new version. When knowing people rather prefer telling the new people, new generation people to watch the old stuff that is like quote unquote so much better than the crappy reboot remake. But see, that's the problem. And another thing, the Neo-Saban era has been trying to be like Mighty Morphin to the point they were just desperate trying to itch on the zeitgeist. And that's why I stopped talking about Power Rangers. Because this Mighty Morphin stuff... See, look, I like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I still do. But just the amount of time Saban and whoever he was affiliated doing all the new merchandise and stuff, trying to make Power Rangers relevant again and all in the big, massive, aggressive presence on social media. Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, etc. Saban was just trying so damn hard to try to make Power Rangers relevant. But knowing most of the majority of the new Power Ranger stuff we've been getting lately was mostly all Mighty Morphin stuff. And that stuff had been bugging me to death. And then for someone who's been wanting new stuff for Lost Galaxy and other seasons in Space or Time Force, mostly Lost Galaxy since I'm a big Lost Galaxy fanboy and knowing to the fact I've just been deep down a bit too toxic about that. But the fact is, people rather buy stuff for Mighty Morphin, and especially for the casuals who are only about, those who keep saying only the original Power Rangers are the best. Nobody cares about some Charlie Brown Rangers or Power Rangers lost in space. Seriously, Power Rangers lost in space. There's no such thing. If you mean Power Rangers in space, Lost in Space, that's the name of a 1960s sci-fi show that later has a recent, once again, another reboot on Netflix right now. But Power Rangers Lost in Space or whatever. Stupid ass casuals. See, there I go talking shit to people again. It's just a fact. It's just, this is one of the reasons why I don't do videos about Power Rangers anymore. It's just the constant Mighty Morphin nostalgia, drizzled comments, and all that. Jeez. Okay, I went on a little long enough for many minutes I can think of talking about the Mighty Morphin tangent. Another thing why I stopped talking about Power Rangers is probably my presence on social media about Power Rangers in general. You see, despite that I've been so isolated for 7 years of no contact after I graduated from high school, and here I am 2018, when there were people who wanted to contact me on all my social medias, or maybe this is just me being a jerk, don't want to socialize with them because I'm afraid that I'll say something that they'll be offended by or they don't want to hear. Or when they ask me if I've been going to college or so. Because here's the thing with me, guys. I mean, I'm not even doing anything other than making videos on YouTube talking crap about Power Rangers and Saban. And even though Saban's gone, but I won't be talking crap when Hasbro officially completely starting next year with Beast Morphers and Beyond. But I didn't want to tell everyone if I'm asking me if I've gone to college, if I've done any studies or anything. The thing, I just don't want to do college, and even though all the times I've talked about doing a Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film or other movies in general that I would plan in the future, I just wanted to do things my own way instead of doing how life wants me to do. In terms of the point where I'm like, once I finished high school, I go to college. I just wanted to stay quiet and don't want to put myself out too much for the whole world to hear and see. Unlike most locals who such and such that got picked on by trolls and bullies, and I have the audacity to ignore trolls and bullies and stuff now, as opposed to when I started this channel on social media years ago. And I think this constant bitching and complaining is not going to get me anywhere. I know I have lost plenty of subscribers and fans and such, if I even have any fans, when really I only have like a few. And of all the amount of years I complained, I've just lost many fans and subscribers for all the things I've said and done about Power Rangers, and therefore I really have said some really toxic stuff. I've done some toxic stuff as a fan. I felt like after all these years of being in the fandom, I just felt like just wanted to step away from Power Rangers. Yes, I will still, even though I will still support Power Rangers under Hasbro, because when Saban had it back, I knew there was something about Power Rangers that just didn't feel right. And that being, they wanted to, like every other franchise who's on the glory of want to relive their glory days since Hollywood obviously is out of ideas and doing stuff for cash grabs, nostalgia, and all that crap in the day of social media and texting and all that stuff, Instagramming and whatever. I just wanted to stop doing videos about Power Rangers because of that reason also. And like again about the Mighty Morphin nostalgia, the Neo-Saban seasons being crap, Bandai, and with the quality of the toys, I already know the issues. That's why I feel like whenever Hasbro does new Power Ranger toys, and when they do Power Ranger toys starting next year with Beast Morphers, I wouldn't be damn surprised how the toy quality will be, because I don't want to keep my hopes up too much about what Hasbro would do with Power Rangers, both the show and the toys and general stuff about Power Rangers, because I know what Hasbro is going to do. If they said that they're going to unlock all the potential that Saban and Bandai and them couldn't do for the last 25 years lately here, they're going to freaking do it. They're going to keep their word. I don't want to expect BS or whatever they said they're going to lie to us fans about for the sake of what's best for business, according to, once again, what's his face, Triple H from WWE. But I've long stopped watching WWE, speaking of which. But it's just, I've just said enough about what they've done with Power Rangers. And of all the nitpicking and complaining, this has not gotten me anywhere on YouTube. It has not gotten me anywhere in the fandom. I just got to accept that, well, even if Samurai, Megaforce, Dino Charge, and Ninja Steel sucks, but they were basically seasons that just felt like we were at a point where Power Rangers was like a ghost of its former self. Last we had it in RPM. And I gotta realize that the old days, we'll never see the old Saban Entertainment, Fox Kids days anymore. We'll never see the old Disney era anymore. We'll never whatever. It's just Neo-Saban. When we had those seasons, there could have been a lot of potential for all of Samurai, Megaforce, Dino Charge, Ninja Steel. With that season and Super Ninja Steel, there is no potential for that. I guess I was one of the many fans that wished for Ninja Steel to suck. So go ahead and throw in some hate comments and dislikes about that all you want. It's just, I wanted it to fail, because I kept saying over and over, even some people don't care, if Ninja sucked, then Ninja Steel was going to suck. Because I know I may hate the Sentai that Ninja Steel is adapted from, but again, nobody cares about the Sentai, some people say. But the thing is, I didn't like Ninja. I absolutely despised it. I guess it was best for a marketing move for them to do Ninja, because yes, we all know Tokuger wouldn't do well here in America. So that's why they skipped Tokuger. And that's something also I needed to accept, instead of bitching about, I hate Ninja Steel. Ninja Steel sucks. And see, that's one of the reasons why I had copyright claims from Saban 3 months ago in April. Like some of the following fans, like Mr. Winnie Productions and several other Power Ranger fans I can think of that I'm subscribed to, and they subscribed back to me about. Because we all know Ninja Steel is already a hot pile steaming garbage crud of a season. And I know a few of you still like Ninja Steel. But again, if you like Ninja Steel, more power to you. But that season is already the final nail in the coffin for me as a Power Rangers fan. And I'm glad I stopped following the show before Ninja Steel started. Because I knew that Ninja Steel was going to suck. And it did suck. Super Ninja Steel ain't going to hardly do anything for the 25th anniversary. I forbid you not. I forbid you not. And I feel like everything that we already got else that's honoring the 25th anniversary of Power Rangers better. I mean, especially the stupid Street Fighter Power Rangers crossover thing we got going with Bat in the Sun, and then the Street Fighter characters crossing over in Power Rangers Legacy Wars. Oh my goodness. I mean, I don't even want to waste my time talking about that. I already know when they added the Street Fighter characters, considering that both Power Rangers and Street Fighters both have big anniversary years. I mean, milestones this year. Street Fighter for 30 years, Power Rangers for 25. So they figured, let's have both franchises honor both of their respective big anniversary milestones crossing over in both Legacy Wars and that Bat in the Sun, crossover with Power Rangers versus Street Fighter short film coming out in October, which I've heard. But really, I don't want to keep wasting my time talking about that stuff, knowing that I've already finished that eyesore of a strain of a Trakina-centric Lost Galaxy fan film that I spent doing all decade almost long, wasting almost all my early 20s on, even though I had the passion and commitment for that. But I'm just tired of Power Rangers. I mean, even though I love Power Rangers, but I'm just tired. I mean, well, tired of the things I've gone through, the constant, endless days and nights complaining about Saban, Bandai, all of them. I just got tired of it. And some people I've dealt with in the fandom that were being dicks and assholes to me in the fandom. See, that's one of the reasons why I had to stop talking about Power Rangers. Just those 3 reasons alone. I can think of any other reasons why I stopped talking about the franchise for numbers 4 and 5. Because the 3 reasons. The Mighty Morphin nostalgia, the complaining about the Neo-Saban seasons and Bandai. I think I've done my piece on that. And as well as the fandom. Considering that I'm not really that significant of a Power Ranger fan. I'm just, yeah, sure, I'm kind of significant only when I'm talking about the franchise, like with the show as a whole, but when it's this fan film thing I've been doing that my channel was supposed to be designated about, nobody cares about that. If I'm going to do a Power Rangers Lost Galaxy paper doll movie, I'll freaking do it. Even though it's not relevant or it's just disposable. It's just, nobody cares. It's just something I'm just doing for the heck of it. What's real from the TV show, the toys, the comics and stuff, that's real. But it's just knowing, no way in hell I'm going to make Wrath of Trakina canon when knowing Lost Galaxy was 19 near 20 years ago. So forget it. Maybe if we ever do get the potential Hasbro Power Ranger Cinematic Universe going, if they ever do Lost Galaxy movies, they're not going to take my Lost Galaxy fan films as an inspiration for their potential Lost Galaxy movie thing in the future itself. Since after all, nobody cares what I do on the internet. Nobody cares what I do in general. Even though, yeah, I have been trying my hardest for the last 6 years trying to put out good content, when really for the last 800 plus uploads, half of most of the majority of my videos have just been mediocre, to be honest. Even though I've worked on those videos, podcasts, the toy reviews, the vlogs, all that stuff, movie rants, all that. But I realize my channel has been all over the place. And that's why for the remainder of 2018 until early next year, I'm restructuring my presence and my channel branding of PR Lost Galaxy 2014, where this channel will be only strictly about the fan film stuff. A separate PR Lost Galaxy 2014 sub account will be videos like this, but only for archival purposes, but just no new content furthering out, because I've just said enough. And after all, I would do like to thank all of those who supported me during the tirade of us angry Power Ranger fanboys and fangirls complaining about Saban and Nickelodeon and Bandai and several others with the things that all affiliated with Saban was doing with Power Rangers. And I think all the complaining and the arguing on social media and YouTube and the changes, we the fans made these changes. We want to see someone else take over the franchise. We wanted to see something new happen. We wanted to see someone like Hasbro take Power Rangers or somebody like that. We wanted to see them take, a Sentai they skipped between Megaforce and Dino Charge and turn that now as a Power Ranger season. We wanted them to figure out what to do now else with the franchise. But starting next year, 2019 and beyond, when Beast Morphers arrives and when Hasbro does whatever something for Power Rangers, I'm not going to be around for any of this stuff, because when it was Saban, yeah, I've done enough complaining and bitching again, and I know for all the for anyone who has kids watching this video, they shouldn't be hearing me cussing, because that's something that, or even general adults who don't like hearing me, people like me cussing, because I understand there's some people who are sensitive toward profanity. Excuse me. As simple as that. I've done enough complaining, I've done enough whining, and it's time I grew the heck up and accept what happened and why it was like that, for the sake of, quote again from Triple H in WWE, what's best for business. And unfortunately, Vince and Triple H and Stephanie, but hey. But again, what does WWE have anything to do with Power Rangers? Even though I have done a few videos about WWE, but whatever. But and then not only that, I mean, I've done enough complaining about the whole, oh, Saban's trying to make Power Rangers more kid-friendly. Hell, even when Hasbro with the franchise now, I hope Hasbro caters to not only just the kids, but us longtime adult fans, because we want to see Hasbro do what we want them to have put out. We want Hasbro, starting with Beast Morphers. I hope they, of course, tell good stories and make great characters, and we just want Power Rangers. All we just wanted was to have Power Rangers great again. But of course, we've been doing nothing but bitching and complaining, because it's just times now are different from how it was back when we had Saban Entertainment, and even when Disney didn't care. But hey, that was Disney. But we just want Power Rangers to be good again. I'm just tired of the what's that word I'm looking for? I'm just tired of the monotonousness from Saban with the constant aping on Mighty Morphin nostalgia, trying to bring back multiple staples from Mighty Morphin, like having new supporting character comedic duos trying to be like the next Bulk and Skull. I'm looking at you, Victor and Monty. Or trying to bring back old morph calls like It's Morphin' Time, and also bringing up the theme song of Go-Go Power Rangers for new seasons, when we had Samurai, Megaforce, Dino Charge, and Ninja Steel, that's what they were trying to be. It's like Saban was just desperate to trying to bring Mighty Morphin back, like I said in tangent number 2. But, if I were a writer on Samurai, Megaforce, actually the entirety of the Neo-Saban era, I would have, did Samurai, Megaforce, Dino Charge, and Ninja Steel without any, staples and such from Mighty Morphin that already worked in 1993-94. Because I know Saban wanted Power Rangers to be like Mighty Morphin again. Just like how Star Wars wants to be like the original trilogy again, even though that's why Last Jedi, Force Awakens, and them sucked. Or what other franchise is trying to ape on their old days while we have a new generation of social media obsessed millennials like myself or so. So, oh, Jurassic Park with Jurassic World, trying to be like Jurassic Park 1, but with Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard in it, you know? Or Terminator Genesis, when they brought old-ass Arnold Schwarzenegger coming back as the Guardian Terminator. And we all know Terminator Salvation was terrible. And all these other reboots and remakes. Maybe I guess it's best to say, I guess there was reasons for Saban to reboot Power Rangers the way they did in the Neo-Saban era. I guess it was best to say it was safer. You know, I know a lot of people all decade have, you know, especially myself, well, sometimes for me, but a lot for everyone else, have been bitching and complaining about reboots and remakes a lot because, yeah, we know that they want to reboot and remake stuff because, yeah, aside from the stupid static robotic, you know, Hollywood running out of ideas thing complaint, I guess it's safe to make reboots because, like my brother was telling me, you know, Hollywood doesn't want to end up like, you know, already bankrupt film studios like Orion Pictures or Canon Films, who've made low-budget film franchises or whatever, like RoboCop, which was by Orion Pictures. RoboCop with Paul Van Hoven's 1987 sci-fi classic. Or any other, well, just mostly Orion Pictures and Canon Films and Carolico, low-budget film studios that dissolved in the early 1990s. Because I guess it's best to say that doing anything original nowadays will be a risk. That's why in the day and age of social media, I know not a lot of you out nostalgia tards rather prefer the old stuff. I mean, heck, I even prefer the old stuff too. I still, you know, instead of me listening to modern music, I still listen to music from the 90s and the 2000s. And even though, despite also considering I wasn't born in this decade or older, the 80s, I've been listening to a lot of music from the 80s more rather, even though I didn't grow up in the 80s, but I still appreciate the music that you 80s kids like, even if I was a 90s kid, even though I'm a 90s kid. And I listen to, even though I haven't found any good music from the 90s I can think of other than any particular Britney Spears music or Madonna music or Michael Jackson music from the 90s or whatever. Okay, I gotta think of some other music from the 90s I can think of. The 2000s with like Linkin Park or whatever. And I know it's been a year now since Chester Bennington, lead singer of Linkin Park, passed away from suicide, but. Or movie, instead of doing original movies, we got to reboot and remake movies that have already been done already, especially mostly horror movies getting reboots and remakes like Hellraiser, Nightmare on Elm Street, Fright Night, all that. And TV show revivals and reboots. And even at the time of this video's recording, Cartoon Network, since the Teen Titans Go movie did successful, even though how come the Teen Titans Go movie can be loved by all, but the TV show gets hate? See, that's why I'm just like, that's why I'm glad I don't want to do videos complaining about Cartoon Network and Teen Titans Go and all that crap. I don't want to keep wasting my time about that. So I guess I figured the possibility was everyone's, wish of season 6 to the original finally came true, even though I didn't see Teen Titans Go to the movie today. But it's just, we have to do reboots because most of the original stuff we got today is in fact shit. Music today is shit. Some television we got today is shit because we all have nothing but a bunch of freaking bimbo, crappy looking plastic surgery infested bimbos on reality television that nobody cares about. The Kardashians. Movie reboots, based on classics with, that we still love because I understand nostalgia. And even Power Rangers just recently had a reboot. And, again, I mean, I was in the vein of liking the movie, but then a year later after the release, I'm like, I hate the 2017 movie. It sucked, really, to be honest. And I didn't get no kind of nostalgia watching the movie, even though I watched Mighty Morphin growing up as a small kid, but I didn't really have any nostalgia. And really, when I watched the 2017 Power Rangers movie, I didn't really feel nothing. So before I wrap up the podcast, I will likely do one more video about the 2017 movie, even if it's been 1 year later, talking about why I hate the 2017 movie now, as opposed to back when I was like, oh, the movie was so much better than our recent season for 2 years of Ninja Rangers with technology to doing actual ninja shit. But nevertheless, guys, that's just how I feel. And I know have been lacking a lot of content. It's just, this is one of the few reasons why I just didn't want to talk about Power Rangers anymore. Hell, if you follow me on my personal Instagram and Facebook accounts, I hardly even post anything about Power Rangers anymore. The only thing close that I'm uploading, I post about Power Rangers on my Facebook is like a profile image of me saying, with a Power Rangers 25th anniversary banner thing on it, theme, and a new updated Power Rangers Lost Galaxy Hasbro fan-made looking logo on it as a profile cover, and whatever I'm posting on my personal Facebook, well, that and Instagram, about mostly me following Marvel. But yeah, for all of those of my subscribers, continue loving Power Rangers, and I will do the same. But it's just, the thing is, after all the repercussions of the 8 years I've joined this fandom, dealing with a bunch of haters and trolls bringing me misery and crap that was interfering me in my real life, there was a part of me where I don't have to follow Power Rangers or watch it or buy the toys. And thank you, Shigs, for recommending me the choice I have to make for myself about I should not follow Power Rangers anymore, or I don't have to buy the toys, or I don't have to talk about the show, or don't have to watch the show. Because, after all, what Saban has done with Power Rangers has been crap. And maybe it's just the fact is I need to accept the fact this is Power Rangers now. This is not the days of Lost Galaxy, or Turbo, or In Space, or Wild Force, or SPD, or RPM. This is Power Rangers Samurai to Onward. Even though we're now onto Hasbro Power Rangers. We're not Saban anymore. We're Hasbro now. And, yeah, hooray, hashtag hooray for Hasbro. But, nevertheless, I just need to accept that I have to respect Power Rangers' past and embrace the future. And even though I love the old seasons, but the Neo-Saban seasons in 10 to 20 years from now, there is hardly going to be nothing nostalgic about the Neo-Saban seasons when we get through Hasbro from 2019 to wherever beyond in the future. Because Saban's new seasons will never be remembered for anything unless for anything from Dino Charge, and that's simple as that. And again, in final thoughts, as much as I love Power Rangers and still, I just feel that after 6 years, over 800 uploads and such, I just don't think it's worth talking about Power Rangers anymore. Sure, there's, if you want me to do videos of other franchises, not Power Rangers, like, I don't know, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the DC film franchise or whatever, I'll probably not do, probably will do videos like that when I start being on Daily Motion starting next year. Now, I know the transition from YouTube to Daily Motion is going to be tough for some of my, subscribers, since after all, well, even though I'm going to be absent only on YouTube, well, my channel will remain open after this year, and it's still going to remain open, but it's just I'm not going to upload videos much often anymore, unless it's videos about my fan films, and that's it. But I want to I still want to thank all of my subscribers for the last 6 years of PR Lost Galaxy 2014, and the support, despite the amount of support I only had for the last 6 years, for keeping me in faith of what I was doing, despite my hardships and despite some frustrating, heartbreaking things I've said. And I apologize for all the things I've said of me talking down on some of my audience members and subscribers, because I know I guess I was a bit too obsessed with my thing, my fan film Lost Galaxy thing, and I have pushed some away because of that thing I was working on since 12th grade. Even though 2010, 2011, 12th grade, high school, you know, that it's been ages ago, and to be honest, high school sucks. I know, I mean, it's an hour and a minute in now, and I'm just choking up, getting a little emotional, closing out the video. And I mean, the channel of PR Lost Galaxy 2014 will continue, but it's just elsewhere. And occasionally I'll post something on YouTube, but just not often every month. I mean, yeah, in my early years of this channel, I posted a lot of good content, aside from content nobody cares about, anything related to Power Rangers. Mostly, again, the fan film stuff. But I finally made the film, the fan films I've done, but everybody was all about the TV shows and not about what I want. But I guess it goes to show that not everybody, you know, some people did support it, and most people just got detracted by it. But who cares? After all, where I'm at nowadays, nobody cares about Power Rangers besides those online, internationally, or within the US. And I would like to thank those fans of PR Lost Galaxy 2014 for keeping the channel alive and also keeping me alive. But it's just, I just felt like this is the end. But I do have a few more podcast episodes left until I wrap up for the season and the remaining of the year. And thank you. So let me know what you guys think about this reasoning why I stopped talking about Power Rangers. Because I feel like what I meant was something I needed to speak out, and why I just didn't want to do videos about the franchise anymore. I don't have to do it, because I realized complaining and bitching about it is not worth my time anymore. So let me know what you guys think. I would like to thank you. I would like to thank the following subscribers that I aforementioned for a shout out. I would like to thank you to you know, hit the subscribe button, drop a like and such, because it really means so much to me, to the fact that I've just been such an undervalued Power Rangers fan, even when things were very dire and back when I was just being a belligerent jerk of a fan, because I just been so obsessed with my thing to the point where I just really pushed a lot of people away. Of course, I'll never get those people back in my life again, but I can always make new friends and such. So anyway, Anthony Marsh on PR Lost Galaxy 2014, signing off, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.